Alrighty, so the new king is coming out next week. This video will actually come out after the maintenance and everything like that. But yeah, so obviously there's kind of a little bit of prep that needs to go into sort of getting ready for the character, because this is going to be one of the big ones. Like, he's so far been very, very, very good on JP and Korea so far. So I just wanted to sort of make a video prepping for him, I guess. Just so you know, before we hop in, I am trying to hit 6,000 subs by the end of the year. So if you want to subscribe, feel free to. Other than that, anyway. So I think I put out a poll today on YouTube, and I was basically asking people what they think the substats for the two top pieces should be, so the attack pieces, and I've gotten a pretty decent amount of feedback. And the basic question that I asked was, what should the substats be? I gave 3 different options. It was full attack, full crit damage, or half and half, sort of. Because if you are unaware, the new king, obviously not this king, the new king is going to have basically the same attacks that this Sariel has, except for both of them are AoE. So this is an AoE attack that has Sever. He also has a Sever AoE attack, and then he also has a Power Strike card, but his Power Strike is AoE as well. So with Sariel being pretty much the closest unit to him, and a lot of people build their Sariels to have sort of like half and half, I was kind of curious on what people were kind of thinking, but it seems like the majority of people were telling me that the just regular straight up attack rolls are probably going to be best, because obviously the big thing with the new king is he doesn't have a lot of, like, I guess, survivability. Like, he's kind of squishy as a unit, which is good because he's like insanely strong and deals a ton of damage. So like, I think if he wasn't able to be killed quickly, then it would be absolutely awful. Obviously, one big thing to get around that is you can run evasion food, so that way, you know, the first attack that gets dealt on him doesn't or just the first attack that they use in general doesn't go through. But even then, sometimes depending on the unit, with 2 attacks, you can probably still end up killing King if you have the right cards or the right team. So yeah, I currently have full attack stats on all of my attack gear. I've been trying to anvil them up quite a bit. Obviously, I'm still lacking a couple of small rolls here and there. I really hate that this is as low as it is. I might try to re-roll that a little bit, but re-rolling the base stat is such a pain most of the time, so probably won't bother. But yeah, the big thing is CC for the team is kind of a big deal. Because he's so squishy, you want to try to go first as much as possible. So a couple of people were saying that they were thinking that maybe HP crit damage was going to be the best, because obviously you want to be able to go first as much as possible. So having that extra HP, which translates into CC, could, you know, potentially let you go first more often. And I do kind of agree with that in some ways. But I think with the new king being sort of like almost like a glass cannon sort of deal, where he just does insane damage like right out the gate, I think having that extra damage and trying to just go for white turn 1 could be a better plan, because most of the time I feel like even with HP food, like, you only get like a 20% increase on it with the gear on, and although 20% is a lot, like, I mean, if I was getting an extra 20% of his 140% on this unit specifically, you know, that would be quite a bit of an increase. But I feel like if they're going to bring somebody that's going to be doing like big damage like Escanor or somebody, you're probably going to still end up getting killed regardless. But I mean, obviously there's still room for experimentation there. If you're a long-time player or anything like that, and maybe you played a lot whenever the old kings and stuff used to be a little bit more meta, like this blue king specifically, he was a really good support unit, and a lot of people would run him with HP defense gear. If you already have like UR gear for him that's like HP defense or something, I don't have UR gear for him specifically. I don't know why, but the original king UR gear that I built was HP or attack defense gear, so I just kind of melded that over into the new king's gear. So unfortunately, I don't have like a decent HP set that I can really like use on him to test it out. I may try and I may try and go ahead and make this into UR gear since I have so many stones at the moment, and we'll try to do like a comparison whenever he like comes out and everything, just to make sure. But yeah, I think for the most part so far, the actual gear that you want to run on him is going to be attack crit damage gear, and then, you know, it was a pretty large majority of people were saying that base, you know, just pure straight up attack stats were going to be your best sub stats for the roles. So yeah. Normally, I would tell you to go ahead and start farming your demons and stuff like that, so that way you can make sure that you have all your resources and stuff like that in order. But not unfortunately, but fortunately, they are actually going to be running an event going on whenever the new patch drops with King, where there's going to be some sort of like thing over here in the bottom right corner of your character screen, and you'll get one free upgrade on any unit. Obviously, a lot of people are just going to use it on King because he's going to be brand new and people are going to want to use him, but it basically makes the character go from level 1 all the way to level 90, and it just like upgrades all of that stuff for free. The only thing it doesn't upgrade, it does go ahead and it does awaken your character, but it doesn't super awaken your character. So if you need to, make sure that you go ahead and, you know, hit the Super Awakening coin dungeon as much as possible. Do whatever you need to do. Obviously, Purr and Poo's going on at the moment, along with Lamech. If you haven't ran those and got all of the rewards that you can out of those, get all of those Super Awakening coins and stuff like that out of those exchange shops, because you're going to need them. Other than that, there's a couple of different characters that people are running with him specifically. Obviously, people are kind of just slotting him into the sort of like base Margaret sort of kit. If you have Green Gother, people are running Green Gother with him, and basically any other unit, honestly. Like I've seen so many different teams with him at the moment. Surprisingly, Margaret's buff card does actually stack on him, because for some reason they decided that it wasn't OP enough already to do crazy good stuff on him, but they made his buffs gray buffs, which means that they cannot be purged or anything like that. So her blue buffs actually do stack on top of his, which is absolutely ridiculous. A lot of people, maybe not a lot of people, but there have been some people telling me that I should start leveling up my Rugal, and I do want to level up my Rugal to maybe use him a little bit. But the thing is, I think for a majority of players, unless you're just, you know, willing to spend the money and everything like that, which you can't anymore, but Rugal is a collaboration character, and because of that, you had to buy his outfits and stuff like that with real money. And Rugal just really isn't a unit that I use ever. And as far as like the actual like KOF lineup goes, during this latest KOF collab, he was probably like the least interesting like character out of the whole lineup. Like back when the original KOF collab dropped, he was really, really good because of Pierce teams and stuff like that. But nowadays he's just very he just wasn't really all that exciting compared to some of the other characters that were getting holy relics and stuff like that. So I don't have all of the outfits. If you do have all of the outfits, he's a pretty solid, you know, unit to actually throw on the team if you want to try it out. Feel free, because obviously, you know, any chance to use a collab unit and stuff like that is always a good time to just use it while you can, because, you know, collab units aren't meta for very long, unless it's just like Amelia. For some reason, Amelia is just through the roof, and Kyo is also really, really good too. But yeah, I don't know. He's actually pretty interesting. He can be very, very good on the team. Like I said, I don't have all of the outfits and everything like that for him, and he's already going to be kind of a character that you want to out CC as much as possible. So I'll probably try and power him up. I'm not gonna. It's not gonna be like a top priority or anything like that. But he is one unit that people are using quite a bit. You know, just various other things. People are using Kyo with him and stuff like that. Blue Droll is fine also with him. But he's just such a good unit in general that you can use just about anybody. So I'm kind of looking forward to the character for that, you know, alone, just being able to sort of mess around and try older characters and stuff like that on a team with him, because he's almost like Margaret, where Margaret can sort of make other characters good just by using her blue buff. So I think that that's pretty cool. I don't know, he's obviously going to be super, super strong, super, super powerful. So he's not only going to be a PvP unit, like people are using him to beat the bird, people are using him to beat, you know, or well, not necessarily other stuff, but he can be used in any game mode. His passive works and everything. So yeah, he's going to be an insane PvE unit as well, which is another reason why I'm super excited for him, because I do a lot of PvE stuff. I don't necessarily enjoy the meta most of the time in PvP, so I don't know, just he's an all-around really well-rounded unit, so I'm looking forward to sort of messing around with him when he comes out. But I don't know, other than that, there's really not a whole lot else that you need to do besides just go ahead and get your UR gear ready and stuff. Make sure you get your Super Awakening coins. If you're not willing to spend the money on it, make sure that you do set aside some diamonds and stuff like that so you can buy his outfits whenever he, whenever they are available for actual, current or like diamond exchange, because obviously whenever new characters come out for the first 2 weeks, the outfits have to be purchased with real money, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, just make sure you've got all of your ducks in a row. If there's anything that you think I've missed, also, actually, while I'm on the topic, make sure that you have like Vanya Ales or anything like that, so that way you can max out his affinity. I don't remember exactly which piece he has up top. I think it's a headpiece, but I could be wrong on that. But you want to make sure that you go ahead and grab the extra piece while you can, or well, it's not really limited or anything like that. But make sure you have some Vanya Ales and stuff like that stocked up so you can grab his affinity and everything. But yeah, other than that, just make sure that all of you're like working on his gear set and everything, because he's obviously going to be a big unit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else to go over. I feel like this was a little bit longer than it needed to be, so sorry about that. Thank you guys so much for watching either way. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe. Like I said, if I missed anything, let me know, because I think people would appreciate it. So that's it from me. I'll see you guys in the next one.